Welcome to 52 Weeks of Hope. This is where you get to hear how to feel happy, balanced, and worthwhile. How to make that lonely ache vanish and feel empowered, confident, and secure. I'm Lauren Abrams, and I get to help you feel the magic again since going through my own dark night of the soul by chatting with incredible leaders, healers, and change agents who give us their messages of hope after overcoming challenges of their own. And today we're talking to author, retreat leader, and motivator, Kristin Sparks. Are you ready to discover life's infinite possibilities, to live in joy, grace, and leave blame, shame, and guilt behind? That's Kristin's signature to her email, and it's perfect. She's here today empowering you to be your best self, answers your questions, has taken some of life's hits so you don't have to, and wants to give you the lessons and help you live your best, most aligned life right now. She also understands body language, which I love because it ties right into confidence and owning who you are. Author of part of the book on joy, welcome to 52 Weeks of Hope, Kristin Sparks.
Well, thank you. That's an amazing introduction.
Thanks. I have fun writing them. Okay. So you have hot messes are my thing on your website, along with the infinite possibilities. And those just seem kind of incongruent,
I know,
especially to somebody who elevates others. So I wanted you to explain kind of like the hot messes. Why, like I was like, wait, what? So, how is that your thing?
Well, I'll tell you, I am always a hot mess.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I am always a hot mess. I'm going to a photo shoot this morning. And so the jacket that I'm wearing is this like frilly thing, it's just a cape like. I get it caught in the drawer and get grease on it.
Okay.
That's what I mean by a hot mess.
Okay. So in other words, you always have a sense of humor about life.
I do. I have to.
You got to. Yeah.
If I am not laughing, I would be in tears constantly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I say that I am now a pole dancer. I had a fall in 2013 that took out my pelvis. And the biggest thing that I missed out of all of it was the ability to dance. And so I finally got myself to a point right in 2020 that I was able to walk and move through yoga and using my pool and got my body back in strength. And so was on a walker and I get cancer. It's like, really? The universe just has a sense of humor. And so I just take it in stride, and I call it joy in the quagmire, because there is always going to be that muck that we have to get through, those challenges that we have to get through, no matter what they are. They're big, they're small. We know that there is somewhere inside of us the strength and the ability to get through that with a smile on our face.
Yeah. Well, out of everybody I've interviewed, one thing I've learned, there's certain lessons that I talk about it. And I actually compiled all of them I call it the meaning of life in an episode. And one of them is we are resilient. We are definitely resilient.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's for sure. And David Romanelli, he talks about, he interviewed all these elders and centenarians and so on. And he said, the ones that really have the best attitude and everything, it's the sense of humor that goes along with the resilience.
Oh, no kidding.
Life. Yes.
I've been married for 20 years and I never thought I would get married again after the first one. And that is the one thing that has really brought us through everything, is that laughter. And we do a lot of it. It's, even if it's just over the smallest little things, we find joy in what we do in the day. I sat down about a week ago with a group of friends of mine, and we did the 100 things that make us smile.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, right? It was just this amazing, like, oh yeah, right? I'd forgotten about that. I'd forgotten about listening to the song Happy. I'd forgotten about kissing. I had forgotten about, and it's not that we don't know it or we don't think, but it's that everyday thing that we kind of forget. And to sit down and just say, okay, what are 100 things that make me smile, that make me happy? And just the little things were the best the
Yeah,
best things to remember.
I like that. That's different than because I'll do gratitude lists or I'll do really long because I do gratitude lists every day, but I don't, or I'll do long ones. But the things that make me happy or do it with a bunch of friends, that's really, I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So I know that cancer really changed you. You talk about how it really just changed you completely, even more so than the boom of the fall in 2000. Yeah.
You know, it brought me so close to death again. And I've gotten an allergy to opioids bad. And I've died 4 times on them because I go into anaphylactic shock, everything closes up, my heart stops. So, but I'd never had really an experience out of body or anything like that. But I really, when I faced death with cancer, it was so much more personal, if that makes any sense.
It does for me. Yeah, to me, but you want to explain it a little bit, like?
Well, I call it being, facing death and leaving him wanting. Now, I'm not ready. I know there's so much more that I have to do. And it was just like, okay, I have a choice. I can either go through with the treatments that are not going to be easy, the whole, however long it's going to take. The surgery is not going to be easy because I can't do pain meds. And this is some major surgery. Or I can choose to die. Those were my choices. And I would be dead in 6 weeks. Okay, that really isn't going to work for me after having done everything I did to get my body back. I'm like, yeah, no. So it was just personal. It was a personal assault that said, you're not doing something that we need you to do. And I really felt like Spirit was leading me to use my voice that I had never used before, that I had never sat up and said, hey, I am Kristin Sparks, and here's what I stand for. And this is what I've been through, and this is who I am. Authentic, real, just me. And I went, oh, wow. Really? Really? You want me to do that? Okay, deep breath. And here I am.
So now instead, you'd always listen, but now it's time to talk. And
pretty much.
This is so much. I think a lot of people right now are noticing, oh my gosh, I've been called on this earth, on this planet at this time to do something, and I'm not doing what I've been called here to do, but they're scared. They're scared to take that leap. We don't want them to have cancer in order to make them take that leap. What would you tell them? And some of them don't even know what it is. And that's my question. I ask a lot of people on 52 Weeks of Hope. What would you tell them if they're scared to take the leap or if they're unsure?
Well, you do have to find your why. You really do have to find your why, and you've got to dig in to find it. I just did a whole mastermind on finding joy and masterminding joy and finding your why. And there's kind of a step-by-step process of finding that. So you start with 2 words that you feel embody who you are. For me, it's support and inspire. Those are my words. And from there, I built out my why. And my why is really to change this conversation from, blame, shame, and guilt to love, joy, and grace. Now, how do I get from there, from support and inspire to that? So there's this step-by-step process that you take to find your why so that you can then see what it is you're called to do. So if you know your why, you know what your purpose is, you know what you're called to do, the fear dissipates. It just goes away because now knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true in this situation.
So how does somebody find what their words are or what their inner calling?
Well, I can walk you through I mean, you can journal, definitely journal, vlog if you can't write.
I was told, this was an interesting thing. If you are you're at an event and there's all these different tables and every table one has inspiration, one has motivation, one has support. Everyone has a different sign.
Yes.
Which one are you going to go to?
For me, I'm going to go to transformation.
Okay. See, and That's how you pick your why.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to do it. That's an easy way to do it. Yeah.
You're only, yeah. And so that's how. And so put different labels on each of the table. And which one are you going to pick? Which is your table? So that's one way. And you know what? You could actually Google us. There's so many people doing this now.
There's
Like
so
there's
many
so
ways
many.
to
Yeah, I
find
know.
it. Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you go on the website in the next couple of days, the mastermind will be up and you're welcome to go through that.
And all of Kristen's links and everything are going to be on with the show notes. So, okay. But somebody, how about the people that they know they want to, they want to start coaching. They want to start a podcast, or they want, those are two things I just thought about talking about, but they want to just start working for themselves in whatever capacity but they're scared. What would you tell that person?
Well, fear is just excitement. It's just excitement in a different package. And for me, I had to take a really deep breath from the bottom of my toes and go, okay, I am going to step forward and I'm going to step into this. And if you're looking to be a coach or you're looking to be a podcaster, there are a multitude of mentors out there. And for me, that's exactly what I did. I started with, okay, I think I want to be a coach. And I started with this amazing woman, Megan Jo Wilson. She's still a mentor of mine. She is a coach's coach, incredible woman. But I found out I really did not want to be a coach.
Yeah.
So that was great. But at least I knew what I didn't want to do. Right. And then podcasting came around and it just fit so well because I do love to talk, and so what better place to do than a podcast? And I love, 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 love having conversations with people that just kind of go and evolve the way that they're supposed to. And so again, podcasting really fit. And I was able to find an incredible set of mentors through the Podcast Accelerator, and they're an incredible set of women who just really helped me to form what it was I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. And I had to reinvent myself again, even this year, because I started off with a partner and we decided that we needed to go our separate ways. And so I reinvented myself to roar with sparks. But having mentors, having people that you can rely on to help you through those transitions, I think is probably one of the most important lessons that I had to learn through everything that I've learned since 2013 in the fall. Asking for help is the biggest first step.
Absolutely.
If you're afraid, ask for help. There's mentors out there. There's wonderful mentors out there.
Yeah.
And if you're having problems finding those mentors, I also have a foundation, and that's what we do is we help you find mentors. So you're more than welcome to hang out
that's
there.
Great. So what's your foundation?
It's called the Sister Weird Foundation, and weird is spelled WYRD, and weird spelled that way is the fabric of life. It's fate and destiny and the fabric of life. And so we really celebrate our differences. We celebrate the women in their journey and finding their true self.
Okay. So how old is your foundation and how did that go?
It's about 1.5 years old. And the foundation came together from my first mentorship in 2020, right after the pandemic started. We met on Zoom, the women that have started this with me. And they're both from Maine. One is a doctor, one is a PhD health coach. Just absolutely incredible women. And, we hadn't met when we first started the foundation. We had seen each other on Zoom for almost 2 years. And finally, Lisa came down and we were able to meet. Them and Lisa know each other really well and have known each other for a while. So that was great. But Kim and I have yet to meet in person. We're still meeting on Zoom a couple of times a week.
That's so great. Yeah. No, I love that.
It's an incredible foundation. It really is. We're so excited about what we're doing and where we're going with it.
No, that's fabulous. Yeah. Nobody has to invent the wheel. Somebody's done it before, and no matter what it is. So where does infinite possibilities come from? And can you explain that?
Yes, absolutely. Infinite Possibilities is Mike Dooley. He wrote the book called The Infinite Possibilities, and I am a trainer within that. I'm also a Canfield methodology trainer,
Okay,
and
so
I
you
am
can
working on
explain
my
it
Barrett's
about that.
value.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Infinite Possibilities is all about how the universe works and the fact that, I'm sure you've heard of the law of attraction and how that works. And if you want something and you think about it, then you're going to attract it. And I can attest that it absolutely 100% works. And so Infinite Possibilities came into my life, and it opened up this whole new kind of realm in which to play. And it's all about the fact that we are here in this journey of awakening and this journey of adventure. And we really honestly, I mean, I used to tell my kids this when they were little, that life is it's a game, and it's all about how you play it. And they would get mad at me because that was not the way their dad told them life is serious. And I'm like, no, life is fun. Life is supposed to be fun. And that's what Infinite Possibilities really emphasizes, is the fun in life, and that you can have absolutely anything you want. You just have to know you want it.
Yeah, definitely. And then the Jack Canfield portion, talk about
Jack
that. Yeah.
Canfield's success principles. And the success principles, number one, is 100% responsibility. So you have to take 100% responsibility for yourself. And that is where removing blame, absolutely removing blame. You cannot say, well, if the computer hadn't gone out, we would have been on at 4:00.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If I paid attention when it said this little thing of you need to fix Sparks, I would have gone, oh, I need to actually reset my internet. So it's taking out anything that you are giving someone else responsibility, because by doing that, you are literally giving your power to someone else. You're saying, I have no power over my own life. You're saying that I am completely dependent upon another thing, person, place, doing something so that I can live the way that I want to. And honestly, if you're taking just a little bit more responsibility for yourself than you were yesterday, you're doing a huge step in the right direction. The other thing that he talks about within the success principles, and there's 67 of them, so
Yeah, we're
I'm
not
not going to
going
go through all of them.
Yeah.
But there's a formula that you can use. It's called E plus R equals O. And I don't know if you've heard of that, but it is event plus response equals outcome. And if you want a certain outcome, the only control that you have is your response. You can't change the event. The events happen, things happen all the time, but we can choose the response. And that's where joy comes from. It's the choice. It's the choice of not wanting the outcome to be negative. I want the outcome to be something that is going to push my life forward, that's going to push my spirit forward, that's going to push the family forward, that's going to push the world forward. And so my choice is my response to be joyous.
Yeah. No, that I enjoy that process. That's really a beautiful process. Now, the anything I want to be. How do we help people that have that kind of negative mindset as opposed to, yes, you can be anything you want to be? How do you help people get there?
It is a walk in the park. Literally, it is a walk in the park. You can choose to have a negative response to anything you want to, again, just like it's a choice to be happy or joyous, you can choose to not be. You can choose to be negative. I express that you are invited to change that response. You are invited to know that the world is your oyster. You can make a pearl, or you can just have sand between your toes. What would you rather have?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like pearls myself.
Yeah. We'll go with those. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Now, how do you tap into your inner guidance?
Oh, well, I meditate every day. every single day. And whether it's 5 minutes or it's 2.5 hours, which is the most I've ever meditated. And I don't do that every day, but I do meditate every single day. It's usually the first thing I do in the morning before I even have coffee. I used to get up and have coffee and then meditate, and then I'd kind of vibrate out of it. I thought, maybe having coffee after I meditate is a good idea, but I do. I mean, the first thing I do when I wake up is I thank the universe that I'm awake, that I'm alive, and that I get to put my feet on the floor. And then I go sit in my space. I put on my noise canceling earphones. I put a cover over my eyes, and I put weight in my lap, and I use a yoga pillow that's weighted. And I don't know what it is, but it just kind of grounds me in. And then I am just in silence. I'm in darkness and I'm in silence. And it's usually at 5 o'clock in the morning because I like to get up early. So it's dark anyway, but I like just that, it's like releasing any kind of body sight in any type of hearing. It's almost going into a deprivation type of situation. I don't know if you've ever done one of those tanks where you get in and it's a float
I know what
tank
you
and
mean,
it's
but
dark. And yeah, those are awesome. They're really amazing.
I have a friend that's done a few of those different types of things. She says the same thing. She said it's amazing. Yeah.
If I could have one in my house, I would. I don't have the room for one. They're pretty big.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do that, and I do that for about an hour. And sometimes I use music. It just kind of depends on where my mood is. But having that opportunity to just go inside mindfully, intentionally, knowing that I am going to spend whatever 5-20 minutes, an hour of time just listening to my heartbeat, to my breath, and finding that knowing. I can't explain it beyond that. It's that place inside that you gravitate to even when you're busy. I mean, think about sometimes when you're doing nothing and the repetition, you're cooking, you're chopping up onions, you're doing something like that where you're really not thinking about it. That's the same space you get to in meditation.
Yeah.
Only you really get there with an intention versus just kind of a doing. Life is about being, not doing. And that's where the meditation gets you to, is the being.
Yeah. Now, I also saw, I don't know if it's a new book that's coming out, the Holy Shit, I Think I Found God.
Yes, I think I found God. Holy shit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, it's in process right now. It's in editing. So hopefully it'll be out this year. I'm not sure if it's going to be done yet or not. It keeps, every time I think I'm done, something else comes up.
Yeah, I know that one. Yes.
So, yeah. But it's all about my transformation and my feeling about spirit and the word God. I have had a heck of a relationship with the word God, to the point where it used to make me absolutely sick to my stomach to even say it. So it's been a journey, and it's an amazing transformation.
I love that. What's the most common question to ask when you tell people what you do these days?
Oh gosh, the most common question that I get when I tell people what I do. So you do retreats, huh? Is usually the most common response. So you do retreats, huh? Yeah. I think the most common question that I get though is why? People really want to have this conversation about why. And when I answer, it really has to do more with what than why. We find our why, and then we find our purpose, and then we find our mission. And that's the what. My what is what makes it so incredibly personable to me. I am here because I am an authentic, honest, inspirational, supportive guide in you finding who you are versus me finding who I am.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Now, what's the hardest challenge you've overcome?
Oh, goodness. I tell you, the hardest challenge that I've had some hard ones, but the hardest one was releasing my own shame and guilt over not being able to be the mom that I wanted to be.
Ooh.
That's the hardest challenge I've ever
So
had.
how were you able to do it?
Really by forgiving myself. You know, it really was a forgiveness, and it was a process of forgiveness. And you started with forgiving the fact that I was imperfect. And then from there, forgiving the fact that, you know, it's 100% my responsibility. And I think that, you know, I knew that long before I knew of Jack Canfield. And so I think that's probably why he resonated so much with me. But it was, you know, just saying, okay, it doesn't matter what else was happening around me. It doesn't matter who else was living within this realm of you not getting to be the mom that you wanted to be. So you have to say, I did this. This was my choice. And I'm okay with it. It's not perfect. And everybody's not going to agree with it. Not everybody's going to like it. Not everybody's going to understand it. But you're okay with the choice that you made. Because you made it with the 100% understanding of what was happening in the time that it was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have times where you feel like you just want to give up? I mean, now, not like, and if so, what do you do? What do you do and what gets you through?
Well, I have not had, I want to give up for a long, long, long time. Do I question myself sometimes? Absolutely. Do I get scared? Absolutely. I mean, I sometimes go, what have I gotten myself into? You know?
Oh, yeah. I think that's a human experience. You're not, if you haven't taken that leap, when you take that leap, even it doesn't matter how far in it's going to go. Like there's no way.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, you know, doubt comes in. These retreats that I have in the fall are all about I doubt me. And it's called I do me. And so it's removing the doubt. And that doubt comes in. The little voice that goes, you're crazy. Who was going to listen to you? Why would you have anything to say? And why is it important if you anything that you have to say? You know, so those things come in and then you go, because I'm me. Because people need to know the story, because I'm not the victim. I am the hero. And people need to be able to remember that they are the hero too. People need to know that even when it seems like everything is going wrong and you're living in that mess every day, there is hope.
Yeah,
There's
and
hope.
that's a great segue because next question I want to ask is, do you have a message of hope you want to give?
Yes.
Yay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No matter what the quagmire is, no matter where you are in that sinking sand feeling, there's a hand. And that hand is mine. And I am here to support you and inspire you and guide you through it.
Okay. And is there something that I should have asked you that I didn't know to ask that we're going to be done? And you'll be like, oh, Lauren didn't ask me this. She should have asked me this. Is there anything else I should have asked you?
I don't think so. I mean, there's so much more to me. I have,
of course.
We have hours and hours and hours we could talk about that. But no, I don't think that you have missed anything that you could have asked. Is there anything else that you'd like to know?
Well, again, that would be the same as what you just said. So, yeah, no, I think that's great. And like I said earlier, all of your contacts and information and everything will be on the website, of course. So, thank you so much for being our guest today on 52 Weeks of Hope.
Thank you for having me, Lauren. It's been a pleasure.
It's great.